Good morning, everybody. So, we're going to be looking at analyzing setting. Last week, we actually looked at setting, character, and what else? Intention. Great job. And remember, I introduced this topic before we closed for last week. So, the topic is analyzing setting, and I'm hoping the next 40 minutes you should be able to learn how to consider the use of imagery in creating an effective setting. Who remembers what imagery is? Yes.
This is what the writer wants you to see, hear, smell, and feel.
Great job. What the writer wants you to see, hear, smell, and feel. And what organs of the body does imagery appeal to? What organs of the body does imagery appeal to? Sense of what? Sense of smell. Yes. Sight. Hearing. Touch. Taste. Great job. So today, again, I will say again, we're going to learn how to consider the use of imagery in creating an effective setting. So, if you please go along with me to your book, section 7.1, the plantation. We are still working with extract 1, but this time around, we're going to be looking at activities 2 and 3. Yes. Yes.
Track 1. Place where greenery blocked away the sun and surrounded everything in sight, just as it surrounded Namidi that morning as he moved about to inspect his trees and traps. It was the Hamatan season. The parching land breeze charged at him from the rubber trees and made the hairs on his skin bristle. This place was an emblem of life to him. The high-pitched whistle of the birds, the cold drizzle of early morning dew, the rubber trees that glistened with sand. The plantation seemed to glow with a curious mysteriousness which followed him about as he moved abstractly, slashing at the banners of plant leaves that heaved across his path, his face a picture of dark brooding. There followed a small moment of prickling silence, when it seemed as if the murmur of the plantation was suspended in a safe waiting. Namidi's nostrils picked up an odd, sickly smell that set his stomach on edge as he moved about, and with it floated an alien trickling sound. He paused in mid-stride and cocked his ears at the trees. He stood still for a long time, listening, watching, sniffing, until, perhaps touched by an uncertain impulse, he looked behind a thicket a few feet away. Extract 1. The plantation grew from the moist underbelly of the swamps, that place where greenery.
How many of you remember this text from last week? Raise up your hand. Raise up your hand very well, please. Thank you so much. So who can tell us, summarize it for us quickly? Who can summarize it? Hamza, go ahead.
It's a story about the story is called plantation.
Yeah.
And in the plantation, the main character is Namidi. Namidi was a man who is a man of nature who thinks a lot and loves the plantation.
Great job. Who can remember the last paragraph? Something happened in the last paragraph which also indicated the end of that passage. Yes, sister. Summarize it.
Basically, what happened in the last paragraph is that he has cooking sound and he smells something odd and sickly, and he looks behind it and just really good.
Great job. Great job. So it's basically just like Anza said, a farmer. A farmer. Well, what does he farm in again? What does he farm? Rubber. A rubber farmer who um, who had a strange experience because he found something in his plantation. Great. As you have on page 175, you have number 2. Can you see activity 2, everybody?
Yes.
Can you read it out, Jasmine?
The writer combines language techniques to give nature unusual qualities in this extract. Again, make notes on how the writer describes the trees and the plantation. Identify examples of oral, visual, and tactile images and personification.
Okay, thank you. Everybody, go to your notebook. I want you all to read out the meaning of imagery and personification that we have in our notebook.
Is the language that engages or appeals to our senses of sight, hearing, taste, touch, or smell. For example, scratching wheels,
Screeching wheels.
flickering, gleaming, personification.
So let me ask you, those examples you have there, are they found in the text we just read? Okay.
Personification. Language that describes a thing, an idea, or an animal as having human qualities. For example, the cruel world, the kind sun, the punishing task.
Now, under imagery, you have examples like screeching wheels. Screeching. What sense does that screeching wheels appeal to? What sense does it appeal to, Aliyu?
To the hearing.
Great. Screeching wheels. You hear the screeching, isn't it? So it appeals to your sense of what? To your sense of what?
Hearing.
What of bitter drink? What sense does it appeal to, Gamagura? Great job. To your sense of what? Taste. And then gleaming skin. What does it appeal to, Lockland?
Your sight.
Again?
Your sight.
Sight. Great job. Sight. So now you understand what we mean by imagery. Okay? Now, let's go over to personification. You have an example, the cruel wind. Okay? What is being personified by the cruel wind? Yes, Lockland?
The wind.
The wind. What of the kind sun? What is being personified there? Favor. And what of punishing task? What is personified there? Chisitara. Great. What human qualities are the wind, sun, and a task described as having? What human qualities do they have in Lockland?
For the wind, it's cruel.
Okay. Cruelty, because now it's going to be a noun. Cruelty. Remember that cruel is an adjective, while cruelty is what? A noun. Great job. So all those adjectives you have there, you are going to change them to what? Nouns. So what qualities again, I ask, are given to wind, sun, and task? Yes? Yes, Aliyu?
For wind, we have kindness.
What? Ew.
Are you looking into the...
Oh, sorry, for sun, we have kindness.
Okay, for sun we have kindness. For wind, what do we have?
Cruelty.
Cruelty. And for the task, what do we have?
Punishing.
Punishing. Great job.
Punishing.
Now we have read activities 2 and 3. So we're going to go ahead to do activity 2 now. And what activity 2 is asking you to do is to make notes on the sensory images and personification. For you to be able to do this, you need to focus on finding words and phrases that appeal to your senses of sound. That is your oral sense, there are oral images, visual images, and tactile images. So I want you to go ahead now. Do you see in your book, you have oral, visual, and tactile. Write them out in your notebook. Oral, visual, and tactile. We can create a table to make it a lot easier for us. So you have oral, and visual, and tactile. Who can tell me what tactile means? Who knows? Yes, Jasmine? Great. Sarah? Touch. So tactile has to do with the texture, the touch. When you touch something, how does it feel? Both of them are correct, okay? What did Namidi hear? What did he see? What did he feel? That's what I'm going to write here.
I didn't hear.
No, not this. Okay, work with your partner. Let's work in pairs. Gamagura, or rather, go and meet Gamagura over there. Okay, work with him. No, I'm not afraid. This one is doing that thing. Stop it. I can give you an example. Oral imagery, the high-pitched whistle of the birds. Have you all seen that? Paragraph 2.
Now, wait, what was tactile again? What is the
Touch, yes.
sound?
The high-pitched whistle of the birds.
No, it's just
You're working in pairs, remember? Yes. 3 minutes remaining. Walk with the person next to you, please. Remember that 2 heads are better than 1, isn't it? What you meet, your partner will see. Remember the writer showed you so many things in that plantation, right? From the first paragraph to the last, there are so many things we saw. And in the second paragraph, we heard. Remember, we heard something. Example is the high-pitched whistle of the birds. We heard those ones. So they are oral imageries. What else can you see? What else can you feel? That's what that is actually doing.
So let's have it.
You could feel it. You have to feel it to be able to know that it's moist. Can you see? So you put that down here.
Oh.
Do you understand? Great. So that's how it's done.
Well, can you give us an example of visual?
That is where we are you touching the block? Are you seeing it? But I see that there's no light because there's some videos, right? So that's an example of visual that you can see. So I would like for the visual to like for the 1 minute remaining. Remember that when we finish with the imagery, we're still going to go ahead to go look at the personification that was used by the writer. I can't see what you're writing.
Now, does him saying he heard something counts?
What is he doing? Because that trickling sound makes you understand that it wasn't a gushing sound. You know what gushing is? What does trickling mean? Dropping out. Is it fast or slow? Slowly. So you see that the imagery helps you to distinguish between whether it was rushing or what, taking a small movement. So it's a descriptive word. Let's go. Remember, we are concerned with three imageries, which are the oral, visual, and tactile. When it has to do with smell, leave it out for now, okay? Let's concentrate on the three that are listed on the board. Yeah. How do you know it is cold? You feel it. Good. We feel it. What do you feel with? Good. Come now, look at this one. What am I doing? I'm checking your temperature. If I come down to 5, I want your call. It's cold on the skin. And when I talk of it, it is like touching inside our body. So it's a textile thing. Well, we have another tactile. Okay, write it down. I'm going to check everybody's work. This thing with sound. Seconds. Okay, so Domagora, read what you've got for us. Let's check our work, everybody. Domagora, go ahead. What did your pair come up with?
So for oral, we got.
Can we all listen, please? Yes, go ahead.
For oral, we got trickling sound
Mm-hmm.
and the high pitch whistle difference.
Okay.
For this case, for visual, we got tickets, low, and that's all. For tactile,
And there's for visual, we have flags that help cross his path.
From the example you have in your book about imagery, remember that we didn't take out the words in isolation. Remember, it was more like in phrases because we needed to know what was being described. Gleaming skin, do you remember? What else? Give me an example of imagery you have in your notebook, quickly.
Gleaming skin, bitter drink,
Bitter drink,
screeching
wheel. So if you are bringing out the imagery, please bring out what else is also describing so that we know.
Okay, tactile, cold drizzle of any morning dew.
Uh-huh. Yes, go ahead. Okay. Next group, please. The next pair.
So, for oral, we put the high pitched whistle of the birds and crippling silence and alien crippling sound. For visual, we put the rubber trees that glisten with sap, the plantation seems to grow with the curious mysteriousness.
Great.
And for tactile, we put the head on the skin bristle, the moist underbelly of the swamp, and the cold visual of any morning sun.
Great job. Great job. Do you all hear her?
Yeah.
Thank you. Next, David and Fadil. Listen, everybody. everybody, please pay attention. Thank you.
Alright, an alien shrieking sound, the high whistle of the bird. Alright, visual, the green, the
Greenery.
greenery,
Mm-hmm.
the plantation, plantation, the protector.
Parking language.
Again.
The parking language.
And
Okay, great.
then
Okay. Yes, next group, please.
okay. Group first. For oral, we wrote the high pitched whistle of the birds, and then we wrote the alien shrieking sound. For visual, we wrote the red green will block away the sun,
Mm-hmm.
and then he looked behind a thicket a few feet away. And for tactile, we have the cold whistle of the morning dew, and the parching land will charge at him from the rubber tree.
Yes, Lockman and Co. Lockman and Company.
Okay, so for oral, we wrote the high pitched whistle.
Let's all hear you. Can you hear her, Kumagura?
Yeah. Was I paying attention? Okay, for the oral, we wrote the high pitched whistle of the birds, the murmur of the plantation, and an alien sound. For visual, we wrote the plantation seemed to glow with a curious mysteriousness, and the rubber trees that glistened with sap.
Glistened. The T is silent.
That glistened with sap. And then for tactile, we wrote the cold drizzle of early morning dew.
Yes, Amar.
For oral, we wrote the high pitched whistle of the birds.
Mm-hmm.
For visual, that place where that green block away the sun. For tactile, we wrote the plantation green of the mountains under the right of the sun. The cold whistle of early morning, the perching land breeze, and for visual again, that place where luminary blocked away the sun.
Okay, great job. All of you have done a very perfect and excellent job. I'm so proud of you all. Now, just for correction and for better understanding, these are all the images. Now, they're not been, selected to fit each individual type of imagery. So what we're going to do now, together, we're going to work together as a group, as a whole class, to fix these images you have here under their respective columns, okay? The first one says, grew from the moist underbelly of the swamps. Where do we put it? Oral, visual, or tactile? Again? Tactile. So let's start everybody. If you have not written it in under yours. Quickly, if you don't have it under your tactile, please put it there. Grew from the moist underbelly of the swamps. Quickly.
But that's what visual.
Tactile. It's even under yours. Can't you see it there?
Oh, yeah.
Have you written it?
Yeah.
You know one thing that I think I should share with everybody? When Amar was trying to find out where to put that particular phrase, and I asked him, what does moist mean? He did like this. It means, do you understand? Do you get? Everybody, do you understand what he means by this? When I said moist, it got him doing this way. He was doing this. Because you can't tell whether something is moist or not without feeling it. So unconsciously, instinctively, Amara started doing this, meaning it's a tactile imagery. Because for you to know whether something is moist or coarse or hard, you have to actually touch it to know. So that's why you know that it's under tactile. Do you understand that?
How he felt.
Great job. So it was an impulsive thing he just did. Just said he was looking for his word, but was doing this, and for me that was where his answer was. You know, sometimes, yeah, because you know the thing is this: we all have the answers in us, but we don't always pay attention to this. We always think the answers are so far away from us. But meanwhile, it's right there, staring at you in your face. You know. So what that means is that you have to pay attention to details you think you might take it for granted most of the times, and that's where your answers will always be. Let's go to the next one. It says greenery blocks away the sun. Where do you think we should put that? Oral, visual, or tactile? Visual. Visual. Who doesn't agree with us? Already good. So we are all on the same page. Who did you write it under the visual, please? Please quickly put it down. Let's move on. Quickly.
You should write it under visual, right?
It's under visual, yes. If you have already written it under your visual, you don't need to write it again. Greenery blocks away the sun. You have to see it to know that. You don't feel it, you see it. It's right there in front of you as a reader. Sister, what's the matter? Please collect pencil or pen from somebody else.
Because you don't have a list.
Oh yeah, sir. Amazing.
Yes, it's your one.
Have you written it? Let's move on to the next one. The next one says, made the hairs on the skin to do what?
Bristle.
Tactile. What does bristle mean? Who can tell us what bristle means?
Freezing on
A bit of razor.
Not like bleaching.
Dry.
When something is bristle,
To become harder.
it's dry. Yeah, thank you. It's so dry. And even if you are hard on it, it can even break. Yeah, that's what bristle means. Our hair bristles. Our hair does that every time it's Hamatan. That's why we're encouraged to always apply Vaseline, shea butter, and jelly.
I hate shea butter.
It
It smells disgusting.
Okay.
doesn't want that.
Many of us will not agree, but it's fine. If that's how you feel about it.
Let's go.
detail.
No, that is wrong. But again,
You come from that country.
he's going to
Italiana, oh my god. Give me pizza.
Can you make pepperoni pizza?
Macaroni.
Okay, let's continue. The next one, cold drizzle of the early morning dew. What's that? Tactile. Okay, great. Let's go to the next one. Rubber trees that glistened.
No,
Visual. If something is glistening, that thing is shiny. Your skin is very clear. Like when the sun hits it, it's very shiny. So that's what glistening means. Have you written it, everybody?
No.
Please quickly write it. The next one,
The plantations.
the plantations seem to glow.
Visual.
Visual, I agree.
What is doing that?
Plantation. Can we go to the next one?
Yes.
are the banners of plant leaves?
Chapter.
Visual. When someone is slashing at something angrily, slashing means what? You're saying it, right? Even though we are told that he was grunting, but the slashing tells you was like you have to see him doing it that way. Prickling silence.
No, wait, please.
Don't worry, I'm going to leave it for you. I need the others that are finished to move ahead.
Silence is oral.
Oral, great. Prickling silence is oral. What of an alien trickling sound? Oral. Great job. What of cut is ear?
Visual.
Visual. Watching and sniffing?
That I have no idea.
That's visual.
I was sniffing.
Touched by an uncertain impulse?
Tactile.
Tactile. Okay. Who was asking me this?
Me.
Was it you? Oh, you were right. Sorry. Okay. For those of you that have finished, that are up to speed, can you go to number 2B, personification? Let us get the words or the phrases that shows personification. That is language used to give human qualities to inanimate objects. Go back to your extracts, everybody. Go back to your extracts. For those of you that finished with this, go back to your extracts and find phrases that have language that are giving human attributes towards inanimate objects.
Are you sure?
Please no talking. Work with your partner. What is here is visual. So,
Should we just take the
write them down in your book. I can give you an example, can I?
Yes.
Of personification.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question. Can one be tell personification and imagery?
Yes, one can be two. Two of them. An example you have in the first sentence, sorry, in the second sentence, it says, that place where greenery blocked away the sun and surrounded everything in sight. The personification there, greenery is blocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is greenery a human being?
No.
Is it a dog?
No.
How can it now block?
It grew.
It's not it grew.
The greenery is starting to
It's a living
The
thing.
living thing, but it grew.
How?
every living thing.
Is it plant?
Yes.
A tree be there.
Yes.
Right, sure.
A lot of big trees. What about the biggest trees?
Is what
So this is an example.
Excuse me.
Yes.
is not
Do we add it?
Oh,
You get some kernel.
Let's show an example of it to you.
It says just as it's surrounded and made it that one. So does not like include this.
No, we have already, it's not green that's surrounded him.
Yes.
So let's just leave it at that. There's even another one in the first paragraph. Who can find it out?
The passion language such as
Great job. Who can tell me the imagery that is created by charged? Who knows?
visual. No, that
Great. Continue. Yeah.
run forward passion.
Great. How many of you have ever seen a movie where there was a war? You know this olden days war, when this country and that country will come and charge at each other.
oh yes, I've seen it in Solar TV.
So that's charge. So imagine Hamatan Bridge charging. That connotes what? Violence, harshness, isn't it? So that means the weather was not friendly at all with him. Do you understand? No, just for this class.
When I was